Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another one of our Haley Mail exclusive Lunch with Haley's. I'm glad you could all join us today. Today's call is going to be all about list management and how to get the best return on investment for your email marketing. And oftentimes we talk about what are the keys to a successful marketing campaign, and certainly list management is right near the top of that list. So a couple things that we wanted to review today, and we promise this is going to be pretty quick, probably about 15-20 minutes, but I think it's a really important topic for our Haley Mail clients to make sure that you guys get the most success possible. So today we're going to be talking about a couple different things. One, building your list, how to get your list updated every month, some tricks and tools of the trade that you can use to continue to build your email list. And then we're also going to be talking about how to keep your list updated, because you do want to make sure that it's a fresh list, and there's a lot of factors that go into that. We're also going to talk about segmenting your list. One of the nice things with Haley Mail is to be able to segment your list and send out specific mailings to certain parts of your list. And then we're also finally going to be talking about managing your opt-outs, how you can manually manage opt-outs within the Haley Mail system. So let's jump right into it. One of the best ways that you can build your list is through our opt-in link. It's part of the Haley Mail program, and if you don't have this, you can contact myself or Matt, and we'll make sure that we get you your specific opt-in link. But the great thing about the opt-in link is that you can use it across a number of different platforms. Certainly, you want to be using it within your social media sites. So I would suggest probably once a month to go into Facebook and add it into as a post on your Facebook page. Also, same thing with LinkedIn and Twitter. I wouldn't do it all the time, but probably once a month is a good thing to do, just to remind people that, yeah, hey, we've got this great resource, the Staffing Resource Center, the newsletter, top candidate promotions. So just put the link in there and direct people to the opt-in link so that they can sign up for your list. You also want to add it to your email signature. If you notice in the email signature that I have, we have an opt-in link for our Idea Club newsletter. And if you're not on that, please make sure that you click on that next time you get an email from me to make sure that you're getting all the great information that we send out through our Idea Club. But you want to make sure you add that to your email signature. If you don't have a nice graphic designed email signature like we use here at Haley, you can simply just add it as some inline text. And then, of course, you want to make sure that you add it to your website. This is probably the most important place that you want to add it to, making sure that it's fairly prominent on your home page, or you can even add it into a client page or candidate page as you drill down into the website. And also want to add it to your blog. I would treat the blog just like the social media sites. And probably once a month, just put a quick little blog post in there saying, we've got this great resource. Talk about some of the different topics that you send out articles on. Mention the Staffing Resource Center, top candidate mailings, and just so you can kind of get people energized and excited to get your newsletter. Next thing I wanted to talk about is how we can get your list up to 3,000 names if you're not there already. Some of you have probably heard me talk about this case study many times, but it really is, to date, the greatest success story that we've had of any of our clients in terms of building up their email list. We had a client in rural Pennsylvania, did mostly warehouse distribution center staffing. And this was really just kind of a one-man show. And within the first year that he was with Haley Mail, he built his list up to 3,000 names. And it really was nothing more than just always getting in the habit of getting the email address of everybody that he spoke to. Whether he met them in person, spoke to them over the phone, he always ended the conversation with getting their email address. And it sounds very basic, but it's something that I think we take for granted and we don't always think to do at the close of a conversation. We used to tell people to sell the newsletter. When you ask for their information, really sell it up. Tell them all about all the great information that's within the newsletter. This client did a little something different. He really downplayed the newsletter, didn't mention the newsletter at all. Simply just asked everybody that he met in person or over the phone for their email address so that he could send them some additional information when he got back to the office. Once he got back to the office and he sent them a follow-up email, he mentioned that, I've also signed you up for our monthly newsletter. Of course, you can always opt out at any time, but I think you'll find the information to be really helpful. And like I said, in that 1 year, he built his list up to over 3,000 names. Next, I want to talk about how to build up your candidate list. And I know a lot of our clients are somewhat apprehensive about sending out a candidate mailing, so I just wanted to make a quick plug for that. you really should treat your candidates just like you treat your clients and prospects. You really want to stay top of mind with your candidates. Even if it's somebody who you don't have a position for right now, you think is unplaceable right now, you always want to stay in touch with them. Because if you don't, just like clients and prospects, they may leave for somebody else down the road, one of your competitors. So it's really important to stay top of mind with your candidates as well. Position yourselves as career experts. So what some of our clients will do, they'll actually set up an opt-in card for their candidates. And here, this is an example on the screen of one of our clients. And they hand this out to candidates when they come in for an interview. Very simple. They just give their name and email address, and then they're added into the system. So as you can see on this one, they promote, early notice about job openings, the monthly newsletter with helpful and fun articles, tips and advice how to get ahead in your career, and great prizes and rewards. So you can come up with your own version of that, but I think it's a really great thing to hand out to your candidates to build up that candidate list. And now Matt is going to give us a little bit of information about how to keep your list up to date.
Thanks, Todd. Some really good stuff there. The first thing that we're going to talk about are when your emails bounce. And before we actually go and look into the report, we want to talk about the reasons that an email address can bounce. And there are many, dozens if not hundreds. But the main reasons that we're going to see emails bounce are if the recipient's email box is full, or if their email server is down. In those instances, the email just can't be delivered. It's going to bounce. It's going to bounce in that instance. The other ones that are probably the most likely are is if they think that the email they're receiving is spam and they block it. And in that instance, there's a few things that we can do. But the first thing you want to do is make sure that you've got your DKIM and your SPF records up to date. We don't really have time to go into what those are on that call, but basically, your DKIM and your SPF records make it so that the Haley Mail server is a approved sender of mail for you. And if you're confused about that, or if you're seeing a lot of bounces, just talk to myself or Todd. We can check that for you and let you know if those are up to date. Another reason why emails will bounce is that as everyone on this call knows, people change jobs frequently. So once somebody leaves a job, you may have an email address there, and it's a good email address, but there's just no inbox at that particular company for the email to go to. So again, that's another big reason for bounces, and that's one of the reasons why you need to keep your list updated, because without updating it with current information and making additions, your email address will get stale, and as more and more people leave and their contact information changes, you're going to have more and more bad email addresses. So one of the things that we wanted to talk about on this call was just to show you how to check your bounce report. So right now, what I'm going to do is actually go into Haley Mail and show you how to do that. Hopefully all of you are familiar with this screen. If you're not, again, just contact either myself or Todd, and we'll be happy to walk you through your Haley Mail account. This is the newsletter statistics page, and as you can see on the bottom, we've got the stats. This is just a demo account that we use to demo to people. But as you can see, there's the stats from a couple mailings that we've sent. Underneath bounces, number 2, and you can click on that, and it's going to take you to that report. And again, you just want to check this report after every time that a newsletter goes out, so you can see who's who's bouncing. And there's a number of reasons for that. One, especially if you have a big list, this bounce list may be rather large. So you'll probably see email addresses on there that you just notice a mistake or something, and that's why they're not getting delivered. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that. It's another big reason for bounce. If there's just some sort of mistake in the email address, if the person's name, the company name is spelled incorrectly. So once you look at this list, you may see some mistakes, and in that instance, all you have to do is click on the email address, and it'll take you to the edit screen. And as you can see right here, you would just go in and type in the correct email address. The other reason you want to check this is to see if there are good email addresses, addresses with people that you may communicate with on a regular basis that are showing up in this list. If that's the case, the reason it's bouncing is probably because the incoming email server thinks it's spam. Again, that would be a red flag. You want to talk to Todd and I. One of the things we can do is check your SPF and DKIM records. If we get those records all set, and you're still having issues with good email addresses being bounced, one of the things that we can try one of the things you want to do is contact the recipient and just ask them to whitelist you, and that means that they're telling their mail server that the person sending this email is not spam. Please let it through. And again, if that doesn't work, one of our last resorts is that we can go in there and change them to receive the text-based version of the email. When we send the email newsletters out, we send them as HTML. They've got pictures. They're larger files. Sometimes if you change it to the text version, it's a smaller file. Be able to get those through. But again, if you're seeing a lot of bounces, one, you want to check to see if there's any changes that you need to make. And second, if you're seeing bounces for a lot of good email addresses, contact your marketing advisor. We'll talk about the best way to combat that.
Yeah, man, if I can just jump in quick second too. One of the telltale signs that there may be something that is blocking or filtering out your emails is if you go to the bounce report and you see that there are a bunch of people from the same company, that lets us know that there's something on their end that is preventing your emails from getting through. So, example, if you see a bunch of @Haley Marketing email addresses in your bounce report, that means that something is blocking you. So in that instance, best thing to do is if you have a good working relationship with somebody at that company, simply contact them and just let them know, we've been trying to send you our monthly newsletter. Seems like everybody in your organization is getting bounced back. If you can contact your IT person and just make sure that we're whitelisted.
Good point, Todd. And one other thing that I forgot to mention is you also want to check this report just so that if you see ones on there and you're not sure why they're bouncing, that's a good reason just to contact that person and make sure that you've got the correct contact information. Next thing we wanted to talk about. Talked about checking the bounce report. The other thing is just making sure that your list is up to date. Again, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but you will probably start out with, if you were a new Haley Mail client, you'll probably start out with a list ranging from maybe a few hundred to a few thousand. Now, chances are that there are going to be a lot of old email addresses on that list. You're probably going to see a lot of bounces. So as you continue with the program, the way to make sure that you're getting the most return on your investment is to be continually updating your list, just the way Todd talked about a few minutes ago. But after every newsletter goes out, you're going to want to check that bounce report. And then every month before the newsletter goes out, you're going to want to add your additions to your list. You can do that yourself in Haley Mail if you'd like. Todd and I will be happy to train you on that, or you can send those additions to Todd and I. And again, that is part of your Haley Mail program. That's what we're here for. So we're glad to provide that part of the service. And the one thing that you should remember is that Haley Mail cleans out the duplicates, so you don't have to worry if you're going to be making some additions and you think you may have had somebody in the past, or you're not sure, or you're pulling maybe from 2 different databases. Don't worry about duplicates. When we upload the list, Haley Mail cleans them out. And you'll also be able to see a report of any bad email addresses in Haley Mail, and that's a way for you to check all your contact information as well. That's in the report that we looked at earlier. And I think Todd is going to talk about segmenting your list next.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. One of the great things about Haley Mail is the ability to segment your list. Many of you are familiar with the standard database format that we like you to use, and it includes the basics, the first name, the last name, email address, and who the email should be coming from. But there's also a lot of fields beyond that you can use. We have 3 open fields that we call user fields. And this can be used to segment your list. So you could use one field for differentiating between a client and a prospect. So if you came to me and said, Todd, we'd like to do a promotion just to prospects only, I can set up an email for you and select just people who have prospect listed under a user field. Or you may do it by the type of industry they're in. You might say, we want to send out a list of top candidates to just our accounting clients and prospects. Well, if you've got a field in there that differentiates what market or what discipline that they're in, I can set that up for you. You might do geographic region. If you have multiple offices, you might say, we just want this to go to people in the Buffalo office or the Syracuse office. It really helps you do some niche marketing, some very targeted marketing. And Matt and I are happy to do those types of mailings, and it's something that I think our clients should be using more often. Not enough of our clients do, but it's a really great opportunity to do some very targeted marketing. And Matt is going to tell us all about opt-outs, one of the the biggest challenges that we have in terms of keeping our list up to date.
Thanks, Todd. And this is really important, and this is for a number of reasons. Because one is, you do a nurture marketing campaign. You don't want to be communicating with people who've asked not to, receive information from you. But secondly, it's against the law to send, mass email to people who've asked not to have it sent to them. So, to be in compliance with canned spam law, somebody requests to be removed from your list, you do have to opt them out. And we try to make that as easy for you as possible. What you see right here is the bottom of one of the emails where the canned spam text is. The recipient who receives this email has the opportunity to just click that remove list, that remove link if they'd like to be removed from the mailing. What that's going to do is take them to a page in your Haley Mail template, and they'll be able to opt themselves out of whichever, if you have multiple lists or mailings, they can opt themselves out of either all of your mailings or whichever one of the lists that they're on. And then what will happen is you will receive an email notification saying that X user has opted out of your mailings. Now at that point, there's nothing that you need to do. If you'd like to make some sort of notation in your CSR that the person doesn't wish to receive mailings, you can, but there's no reason to remove them from your list. You can send them in your list update that you send to Todd and I every month, because once we've got them opted out of Haley Mail, they are outside of the list management process. You can keep them in the system, but they will not be receiving the mailing. They won't get any mailings from you through Haley Mail. The other way that people can be opted out is they may send you an email just asking to remove them from the list. There's a few ways to go about that. If they respond to the email newsletter that they get and they say, can you please remove me from your list, all you have to do is click that remove list at the bottom of their newsletter if it's showing, and that'll handle it for you. But if let's say they just send you a personal email, or you don't have access to that remove link, then you just need to go into Haley Mail and opt them out. And we're going to show you how to do that real quick here. I'm going to go back into the Haley Mail account. Here we are. So I showed you how to find somebody from the bounce list, but now what we're going to do is find somebody that, let's say someone had sent you an email and asked to be removed. You're going to go to your list screen and then manage contacts. And here you can type in any part of the person's name or contact information that you have. Usually the email address is the best way to do this because that's a unique identifier. If you have a very large list, say we're trying to find me, if you were to put Matt in there, you could have dozens or even hundreds of contacts come up. When you put in the person's email address, it's going to be their unique identifier. In this instance, there's, this is a very small list. So once I start typing in my name, you see me come up here. All you need to do is click on that email address, and it's going to take us to the account edit screen. Once we get to this screen, you just click on account, and then this shows all of the different lists that are in this account. What you can do here, just click on under global opt-out there on the drop-down, just click requested removal. And I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want to remove myself, but that would remove this user from all emails. So that's the second way that you can opt people out. Again, there's the remove link that's in the bottom of the newsletter, and then you can go into Haley Mail and do it this way. And again, once you do that, there's no reason to remove this person from your CSR. They can stay in here. And as a matter of fact, as Todd and I tell our clients all the time, what you don't want to do is come in here and delete the user from Haley Mail, because there can be mistakes made that way. If, let's say, somehow they get put back onto your list, or if you have a sales rep who makes contact with that person and then adds them on, it just leaves room open to make mistakes. If you opt them out in Haley Mail, there's no confusion. They can't get mail from you again. They can stay on your list. And you're all set. You're complying with the canned spam laws. I think that's it for this section. Todd, was there anything that I missed in the opt-outs here?
No, that's a great job, Matt. And that kind of concludes today's presentation. Like we said, we're going to try and keep these quick. Our goal is to try and do these about once every other month with some really good take-home value, help you guys really get the most out of your Haley Mail program. We've got a list of some upcoming topics. However, if you have any ideas or suggestions, please feel free to pass them along to either myself or Matt. We'd be happy to address them in some future Lunch with Haley's. Our regular Lunch with Haley's will be coming back in a couple weeks, and the next topic is how to get more business from your existing clients. David is going to be handling that one. So if you'd like to sign up, you just need to go to lunchwithhaley.com and sign up for that. And hopefully we will see you guys all there in a couple of weeks. And like I said, if you have any questions on this topic or any other topics at all, please don't hesitate to contact Matt or myself. And we thank you very much for your time today.